Garrick Brightscale. A dragon born of an affair between a man with angelic blood and a dragonborn from the lineage of the royal family of Dragon's Rest. Through a series of events beyond his control, his soul was twisted and warped to save the king of Dragon's Rest from becoming a monster, and in the process became the Dreadworm Needhogg, terrorizing colonies of the West that surround the Colossus Kuldara. Wolfgang Connolly, the Angelic Warlock. Asmo, the Sneckman Fighter. Nara, the Drow Sorceress. And Danir, the Catman Wizard. And Dreamwalker took it upon themselves to face this beast in the confines of his own dreams, to purge the corruption from his soul. In a harrowing battle that left the party burned, scarred, wounded, and near death at times, they were able to draw the corruption from Garrick, leaving the red demonic dragon purified and platinum of scale. Unfortunately, the process did lead to the death of the body of Teewig and the departure of Garrick's mother, Theodora, from its frame. Now, as our party stands before the large, mirror-scaled Garrick, all are trying to come to terms with exactly what has come to pass. None who are more confused than Garrick himself. Which one is the right one? I have two things. I think it's this one. Yes. All right. Good. I got it right. I have two different maps laid out. One is the future one. This is the present one. As the now platinum-scaled dragon, still kind of shaking his, shaking the cobwebs from his dreamlike stupor, kind of begins to shift from his torpor. He realizes how large he is now.
He's big and chunky now.
Yeah, he's got a very large, elegant-looking body. The more gnarled features of the red dragon, the black protruding, curled horns, the jagged, misaligned teeth, have all been kind of streamlined and made much more sleek by the shift. You notice that he's also swelled down a little bit, taking more along the kind of coming more along the shape of what would be an adult dragon, as opposed to the colossal form of an ancient dragon that it had once been resting before you. Everything from the past few years still feels like I'm not sure what was real and what was a nightmare. As he looks over all of you, he notices how, like, what are your health states at right now?
I'm actually at 7. I'm actually doing pretty good.
I'm about a little over half.
After the healing, Danir is about 3/4, but he is horribly burned.
Wolfgang is also a little under half, or a little over half.
You see by the look in his eye that he's realizing that the part, like that, he clearly knows that you guys were in a conflict in his mind with him, and that some of that damage managed to stick with you. There's this sort of pained, regretful look on his face as he breathes out. Not necessarily a sigh of despair, but like kind of self-reflection. And as he does, there's this kind of like shimmery mist in the air. And each of you are restored for 21 health.
Oh,
As this kind of soothing, warm air courses around you. The bruises don't seem to heal, but any open wounds that are still on your body start to kind of knit themselves closed. Any internal damage from, like, you know, concussive forces or just cooked muscles start to soothe, almost as though there's been like an aloe that just kind of courses through your veins.
Neat.
A look on a kind of shocked look comes across his face as the wounds begin to heal on you, not realizing what he just did, or if that was him, or if his mind is still playing tricks on him.
What?
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a shock to the system after all that time. You, also look a bit different, but I think you already knew that.
I'm coming to terms with that.
It'll be a process.
How long has it been? I don't exactly
Asmo
have...
gestures to his brother.
Since your initial transformation?
Yorick steps forward.
A little over 5 years. And in all that time,
He starts to, like, he gets that kind of 1,000-yard stare for a moment, realizing that so many of his nightmares, these, like, the burning of villages, the enslavement of people, the sheer, like, moments of sadistic glee in watching, like, creatures squirm. He starts to just kind of like disassociate for a moment, realizing that so many of the things that happened over those past 5 years weren't just a nightmare. They were actually a part of him doing these horrible, horrible things.
what have I done?
Easy, big guy. It wasn't you.
But
Wasn't? No. It wasn't you. It used you. That's what happened. You were used.
You know those red crystals?
yeah,
Turns out there was one inside of you.
One of you currently has the one that was pulled out from him. Who has it right now?
Denier?
Denier.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
And you know as well as I do what these things do to people.
that boy at the wall. And all of your
Aye.
reports from north of the wall.
Aye.
I just never expected it to be like that. The last thing I remember as me. I remember a sharp pain on my face, and then it all became a dream.
Does Garrick have, like, a scar from that attack?
You notice that, much like with Needhog, there is a kind of a series of scales that go from his left eye to his right eye. As opposed to his red dragon form, these ones actually seem a little darker. It almost looks as though he's got kind of like a raccoon mask on, where these ones are just kind of like a slightly more pewterish shade of platinum.
I have a lot of making up to do, I think. But first and
In
foremost,
time.
I thank you for waking me from that nightmare.
And you should be thanking Denier.
He looks down
That's
to
what-
you. He looks down at you, Denier. His large, now kind of shining blue eyes staring into you.
You seem like you've been through a lot. All of you.
He says directly to Denier.
Yeah. Same as you. We can't leave each other behind. So I didn't.
So what's... I guess I need to be caught up on everything now.
He kind of it does like a little bit of a small, uncomfortable chuckle.
Well, to summarize the best of your current situation, you've more or less been used as a proxy, as a third faction leader, to be essentially we're being slowly manipulated by the northern forces, which have been overtaken by a series of. And then Angela just goes into it.
Just like
Furthermore,
the next 40 minutes pass.
Asmo tries to sum it up in like 2 minutes the best they can. Yeah, so we're in charge of Silver Rock. I'm the sheriff, and you may. And Asmo is about to say something about Wolfgang, and goes, realizing he might not want to mention it. The relation. Almost like Asmo maybe tagging in Wolfgang.
How long has this conversation been going on?
In
Not
order
too
in
long.
order to just kind of fill him in on the broad strokes of things, with varied like questions from him, you know, like filling him in on the past 5 or so years of history, including but not limited to what you may have encountered in the future. Probably about half an hour, 45 minutes. Like as well as fielding, you know, various questions he may have had. In order to just kind of give him the broad strokes of the things that have happened, including the... let me know if there are anything on this list that you would not tell him. The Royal Dragon's betrayal of him. What happened in the future. What has been going on between the North and the dragons, like the sorcerer demons and the dragons. Everything that's got, like, the very general things of what's been going on in Silver Rock. All of that fair game?
Yeah.
The only thing that you probably wouldn't tell him in broad strokes is his blood lineage.
Yeah. Probably don't want to let him know that he's my uncle. Or
No, it would be uncle.
Yeah, my uncle.
I see. Well, I'm glad these lands are in better hands now.
Speaking of owning lands, we're in the middle of a feast right now. And you were, well, Needhog was supposed to be there.
Oh.
Yeah, not exactly sure. Didn't think we'd get this far.
Like magic him to look like he did before. Then we don't have to worry about it.
Maybe, but...
You see Garrick get kind of like a look across his face.
I don't know if that'll be necessary. I think I can handle this.
Well, if you think you can, then by all means.
But before I do, this situation between the sorcerers and the dragons. Where do you stand?
Nara looks around.
Here?
Garrick kind of chuckles at that.
If you're asking about the whole situation of being allied with the North and the situation with Bordish, well, I suppose far be it from me to interfere with politics that basically have nothing to do with me.
As I reflect on everything that's happened, I have no ill will towards the people of Dragon's Rest. But I can't, in all good conscience, support the leadership. Not after what they did.
Well, that is entirely understandable.
But I do trust you. All of you.
Nara tilts her head a little.
Really?
No. We're cool with you, so he's cool with you. It's fine.
Oh. I don't know him yet.
No, he's nice.
You notice that whenever his eyes go across you, each of you can give me an insight check, actually, as his eyes kind of like glance around. Like, his eyes have been scanning whoever's been talking, basically.
14.
26.
Damn, Denier.
Denir's not playing around.
You want me to roll insight too for A's?
Yeah. Asmo with advantage,
Everybody.
actually. Didn't matter.
Good thing, huh?
He's lost in Nara's eyes right now. I think that's what's happening.
Oh, yeah, good save, good.
He only,
smooth.
he only has one eye to insight with, so. That was a D6, Connor. Wanna?
Oh shit!
Still better than me. Fuck.
It'd probably help if I actually rolled a not much better.
That's worse.
As a matter of fact, it's worse.
Nice.
Amazing. So for the most part, Denier is the only one that really gets this, which makes sense because he was the first one to be subjected to this. Garrick now has what appears to be this ability to see like he has like a form of true sight that can sort of like read the almost kind of like the magics in somebody's blood right now. Like when he's looking into you, he's basically looking at your soul.
Oh God.
Denier right now is the only one that knows that.
When it comes to your ambitions, what are your ultimate goals right now?
I'll be getting out of this fucking cave, to be honest.
Fair.
Hot.
I meant in the long run.
Oh.
And actually, at the mention of it being hot, you can see like some of his scales kind of like bristle a little bit, and you feel kind of like a wind pick up around you. At first, it feels like a convection oven, but then you also start to hear the bubbling of the lava subside a bit more, and after a little bit, the Koldara, this volcanic bed that you're standing in, begins to feel a little bit cooler. I mean, it's still a fucking volcano, so, you know, you're still basically standing in a, 105 degree Fahrenheit space at
Like
minimum.
he's conditioning the air to be cooler.
Yeah. Or he's willing the space that he's claimed as his lair to be less hostile.
Wow.
Well, we're in sort of a Cold War situation with the North. Neither side really fully trusts the other. And we know what they're doing up there is monstrous. They're turning people into demons. So I suppose resolving that situation is as a broad scope goal on the board.
I can't speak for the rest of them. My goal is to stop the North and the South from destroying this planet.
It's a pretty good goal.
Aye.
I've seen what they can do.
He turns and he looks at Nara for just a second.
Inside that, 11.
Denier, are you trying to hide how you feel?
Oh, he's trying to hide it.
Okay, then
15.
Nara, you're not getting anything from him.
Yeah, I figured with that 11, absolutely.
As soon as she says, I've seen what they can do, he stops and looks at her for just the briefest of moments before his attention turns back to Garrick.
I don't even notice that he turned, or...
You notice that he turns, but you can't read his intention.
Okay. I just get a weird feel about that, then.
If nothing's done, the North and the South are going to kill each other. Straight up.
And Silver Rock is right in the way.
Silver Rock will be nothing but a smoking crater, yes. I have plans. I have a plan to hopefully be able to settle things with as minimal harm on both sides as possible. Although I don't think that one of the sides are going to be exactly willing in this front.
Well, with everything as it stands, I can't in good conscience join with the royal family. However, after everything we've been through, and all you've done, I swear, on the name Garrick Brightscale, that I will protect your lands with all of my ability. That to my last breath, your people will not see harm under my wing.
That is heartening to hear.
He looks up in the sky.
And I will not be alone.
And out of his mouth erupts a radiant white flame that shoots up into the volcanic thunderstorm that has been presiding over this volcano for the past 5 years. And as the flame catches in the peak of the sky, in the clouds, they begin to dissipate. And the moon shines down, looking down on this space. Its light reflecting off of his scales. His wings spread out, and he gives one mighty beat as he takes to the sky. You hear a commotion outside as Garrick flies out of the open mouth of the volcano.
Guess we don't have to worry about the feast.
Oh boy.
So hungry.
And as you scramble out, as you start to hear this commotion in the feasting grounds of the Koldara that you had left, you see as all of the lizard folk are kind of gathered around, like, what the hell is going on? Something's happening. Like, what is that? What was that? And crashing down at the front of the mouth of the cave, wings spread aloft, the platinum dragon stands above you, looking down at the denizens that had gathered under the tyrannical red fury of Nidhogg.
You who have gathered here, the tyranny of Nidhogg is no more. My name is Garrick Brightscale. And you are not forced into servitude under me. You are here under my protection. And if you choose to follow me, you will do so willingly. Or you may leave. But if you choose to stay, you will become a force of order for these lands. We will make them prosperous for all who stand with us. And we will make it the burial ground for those who stand against us. Today is the dawn of the Platinum Age!
And slowly but surely, the lizard folk begin to kind of fall to their knees. Some begin to scream in, like...
Exhalation.
Yeah, like they are elated by the sight before them. Some seem confused.
Yeah.
A lot seem confused. Specifically, the very, very drunk Bardiche. Who's just kind of sitting there, kind of mouth agape, kind of slackened. Like, what the fuck is happening? What?
Looking at the wine, like, what the fuck did I drink?
How much of this did I drink?
Oh no.
But as this new age begins to dawn, the starry sky above you, reflecting off of the scales of Garrick as you stand beneath the worm.
For this new age, you have these 5 to thank. They are our honored guests. Now, let the celebrations continue.
And to that, there's a mighty uproarious cheer as they begin to drink heartily and feast more heavily in the light of the moon. The mood immediately shifts from like where you were before all of this, as some of the lizard folk seem a lot less like militant now. They're a lot looser. Some of them like even kind of like trying to be buddy with you as they get a bit drunker. Those that have knowledge of the common tongue, trying to like strike up conversations with a lot of you. And Garrick kind of like takes to the sky every now and again to kind of like survey the lands around.
So is he the same size as when he was the red dragon, or is he like a smaller
He's a
version
bit
now?
smaller. He's a bit smaller now. Sleeker.
Okay, so it's like Frieza form 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's at Frieza form 4 now.
Yeah, he's like... He doesn't quite seem as objectively powerful as he previously was. Like, there's obviously been some oomph taken out of him. Both in terms of muscle mass and in terms of just raw arcane power for those that
But
have
he's
the ability
still a
to...
big dwag.
Yeah, he's still a platinum dragon. And by meta standards, he is an adult platinum dragon.
Dang, alright.
But yeah, the night continues to proceed with a bit more merriment as I look for the... Man, I need to organize these way better. I keep saying that, but then I never fucking do it. Yeah, the night continues with much more merriment. At the very least, I can tune this down. There we go. There we go. There's crowd ambiance. Yeah, people are much happier now. Eventually, Bardiche would kind of like stumble up to the lot of you. What did you do in there? What have you done? What happened?
Nora looks around to everybody. You don't want it to be...
You want me to explain, or do one of you want to do it?
An explanation in general would be good. I'm...
Let's just say Needhog wasn't the true form of the dragon that you've met. Before he became who he was Garrick Brightscale.
I'd heard he was a dragonborn transformed into a dragon. I'm so confused. She's like trying to sober herself. Like she's clearly trying to sober herself up. This entire thing is a a mind kerfuckle for her.
If she allows it, Wolfgang can cast Lesser Restoration on her.
I mean, you just, like, put your hand up there, like, beside her head and... Oh.
There you go.
Okay, so this is real. I see.
Very much so.
Were you
How?
like betrothed or something?
I...
He's like your husband or something now, or was?
Officially, I'm here as a diplomat.
Oh, sure. Is that
But-
what we're calling it nowadays?
Nara
What? Sorry. Yes.
just shakes his head.
I'm under no illusion that that was the intent.
Well, if red wasn't your color, then you're in luck.
How? She's still saying, like, looking up at the now kind of circling platinum dragon in the sky, who is kind of just having a fun time now that he can fly freely.
Oh.
Well,
Oh, okay. You do it.
it's a lot of esoteric magic and planning.
You really had to be there for it.
He kind of just had like an evil migraine, and we got rid of it.
I see.
Is that bad?
She's just kind of like looking up in awe. You can give me an insight check on her if you'd like.
Oh yeah, I would.
But the
like.
only thing she answers you is, I don't know.
25, baby.
Natural 20.
Yeah, with natural 20 and a 25 against her roll. She seems a lot less anxious, a lot less, like, down. The mixture of emotion that you're gathering from her is, first and foremost, curiosity. But second is this kind of deep-seated sense of wonder at seeing this full-grown dragon that seems to have kind of a kindly nature doing what looked to be flips and barrel rolls in the sky. And go ahead and make me a perception check, anybody.
Yeah. 23.
Much less good at this. Five.
Nice.
Nara, every now and again, you just hear up in the sky, kind of like echoing this faint woohoo voice as he does like a spin or a flip. Like he's literally up there just going, wee! And to that, you actually see, like, Bardiche kind of, like, give, like, a small smile. The first time you've seen her smile genuinely ever, maybe. And a small chuckle.
Hey, Lani.
Uh-huh.
I just rolled something for myself. So, as Bardiche is looking at the party, Daenerys looking at a red crystal in his hand as he looks over towards her. You'd be surprised the change you can go through when these aren't in your body anymore. And he tucks it away.
She looks at it. As she sees it, go ahead and give me a insight check, Daenerys.
Okie doke. Insight to 26.
Also, with your insight, Denier, you see on Wolfgang's face, I'm glad you said something. I didn't want to.
As she sees it, she knows the effect that has on her kind. She knows that for, like, basically in the north, that is treated as a key to kind of the upper echelon of the power system up north. So there is this sort of, like, covetous look in her eye as she sees it. She doesn't have the same in-baked fear or apprehension of that thing as you do.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she's been taught that it is a very good thing. And the sliver of it that you have, which is about the size of like a human knuckle bone, is quite a bit to be put into one creature.
Mm-hmm. This is part of what did it to him. We removed it. He became a completely different person. Happier.
She looks back up at Garrick, who's still just having fun flying in the night sky. Her face now a mixture of, like, there's definitely a conflicted look in her face now. A curiosity, still that little bit of wonder in there, but you can see she's now, like, weighing a few thoughts as well.
As long as I planted the seed, that's all that matters. And the crystal disappears somewhere upon Denier's body as he goes back to focusing on various this and that and letting everybody else talk.
Yorick would join you after, kind of like, you could see that after, like, Yorick left your company, he had been going around to some of the more decorated lizard folk. Clearly those that were deemed to be higher in the command structure, to kind of clarify the change in management, so to speak, and let them know, like, what's going on, and that, you know, things are changing. We're you know, we'll figure this out as we go, but for right now, just chill out. We're figuring this stuff out. You know, just kind of getting order among the higher ranks. As he would finally rejoin you at a certain point.
It's been a long night so far. How are you standing?
Through sheer will.
All things considered, I feel as though I owe you more than we could possibly give.
He just holds up his hand. Let me stop you right there. You don't know a squat. We did this for Garrick.
My mic was muted for 15 minutes.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to get mad. That doesn't do anything. Can I say something? I said earlier and no one responded.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
went,
yeah, sure.
oh,
Sorry.
man, that hurt. No, I just... Asma's just sitting there. He's just standing there, you know, right next to Nara, looking up at them flying around. Here's Yerk, what he says. You know, been a couple times in my life where I thought everything was terrible. Denier, Wolfgang, and Nara even have all seen it. One of the times Wolfgang turned it around. And this time, Asma just kind of looks at Daenerys. We all did, but let's be honest. Daenerys turned it around. Asma kind of looks at Nara, kind of reaches out and grabs her hand.
Aw.
Everything could have been so much worse. It's not always the best, but right now, I appreciate what we have and what it is right this moment. Asma's almost kind of tearing up a little bit, just because seeing Garrick alive, he accepted that it was gone, over. So I didn't talk about it too much, because, the chances, shaking his head, the chances of how bad this could have been were astronomical. Enough that I had to, disassociate a bit. Now my friend's not only alive, but alive in a way that transcends so much. And now I have his job. I'm kind of laughing.
Nara giggles and kind of headbutts into his shoulder a little.
All of you, thank you for this moment. Thank you. As was just keeping his one eye on Garrett, just flying around, just doing like a moonwalk in the sky. I don't know what he's doing, just.
Yorick would kind of join you at that point and just say,
It wouldn't have been possible without you either. I feel like his friendship to you kept a part of him intact all this time.
You do know how we met, right?
I'm very familiar. We used to talk about it over dinner at Dragon's Rest.
Of course, he was admitting that he was in the wrong, and I was allowed to have my little, point of inquiry on the road, right? Like, in the end, he still overstepped. It was outside of the city bounds, so he was out of his jurisdiction. So as far as I'm... still arguing.
Yorick chuckles at that.
Either way,
He looks back up at his brother.
this wouldn't be possible without all of you. And to
Where's
that,
it go
whether
from-
or not
is
you
it-
believe it or not, I owe you.
Well, be patient, because you have another challenge. You're no longer dealing with Nidhogg. You're dealing with Garrick. Says it in the same tone as Nidhogg. Garrick.
I guess that will provide its own challenges then.
Well, because if you're planning on staying here, time to shore up everything. If not, time to find somewhere new.
It is odd, though, that after all of that he'd become platinum and not, well...
He looks down at his own scales.
Wolfgang, grabs a bottle and just starts chugging.
Give me a Constitution save.
What? Just Wolfgang?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, Wolfgang's the one that says starts chugging.
Healthy water, right?
Modifier is not that
Healthy
good.
water? Healthy water, right?
Healthy water.
Also, this isn't any of the Yumberry stuff. We gave all of that to Nidhogg, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
he
you're,
got
you are drinking the
nasty
Right, it's the
alcohol
fire
here.
wine.
Point of inquiry
Yeah.
with the DM, would changing forms change your alcohol content in your blood?
Not bad.
Depends.
16.
16. All right, you're able to actually chug. I mean, just based on, I'm guessing you go glug glug glug, essentially taking down about three and a half
three.
shots.
Yeah.
Shots. You're able to keep it down despite the fact that this stuff does still kind of taste like turpentine.
Oh my god, I want to chug too. I want to chug too.
Yeah, that's
All right, and Nara takes it as a challenge, reaches for the next nearest bottle. Go ahead, give me a Constitution save, Nara.
It's crazy that he turned that color.
20.
You're able to get like
What?
4. You're able to get like 4.5 shots down.
She stares
I
at
the-
Wolfgang as she
how-
drinks it.
Nara, drinking a contest.
It is now.
How am I the boring one?
She
How
gets
am
to
I the
2
one
and then
pointing at
drinks
with the
2
attack?
more.
Well, if you have any paint in your lungs, you don't anymore. You do feel it. You feel a little dizzier after that one, Nara, but you're able to stomach more than Wolfgang could.
She downs her last shot, pulls out the pixie stick, gives a double peace sign, and flies up to follow Garrick around.
Oh boy.
At
You
the
better
hi-
be ready
at-
to catch her in case she falls.
Yeah, at the height that Garrick's at, and the sheer speed that he flies around at, you might be able to get like into a cross path with him, but there's no way you're keeping up with him at full speed.
I feel like it's like a toddler on a tricycle chasing after their older siblings on a bicycle.
Hold on, I have to check something first. What if?
What if?
No, that doesn't change the pixie stick speed. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Alrighty.
That would have gotten so dangerous so fast.
Nara's heading up to fly around like Garrick is, while Yorick continues to stand down there with the rest of you, as well as Bardiche, who is still just kind of staring up, but is, for the most part, just reflecting as opposed to being really a part of the conversation.
So what's next for you?
Well, getting home, really.
There's a few plans that I need to see through.
Well, it'll take some time to get things into new order around here, but for what it's worth, if you ever have need of us, we'll be here.
Right. Oh,
Set up maybe we can set up a teleporter.
the lycanthropes, they'll probably be wanting their territory back.
Of course. We'll make sure that it is properly restored for them in time.
Can I take a surveillance of the area while I'm up this high?
Yeah, now that the sky is kind of clear of that volcanic thunderstorm, it's a lot easier to see kind of the surrounding mountainscape in the moon and starlight, especially with your eyes.
Would it be perception?
Yeah. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
Since so much is awry, like, is anything on fire? Do we need to be concerned about anything up here? You know, just, there's a lot of fighting going on off to the, in the deserty area and the north, and just like, oh yeah, I should probably look around while I'm up here.
Well, as far as you can see to the horizon, to the west, there doesn't appear to be anything of particular note. You can see a few sandstorms kind of blowing around from the northwest, but nothing that you would see
Nothing
as
big.
particularly troubling. As you look out to the east, you can faintly see the almost like shimmer-like glow of silver rock in the far, far distance, but nothing, like there's no way to really discern any actual features from this far away. It's just the fact that you're this high up that you can see as far as you can.
Gotcha.
You see a trickle of smoke coming from where you remember Fallwood Barrow being. Probably people, like it seems like, you know, not offensive smoke, just kind of like trickles from like chimneys and things like that. Maybe a bonfire.
Normal smoke.
Yeah.
That's
Similarly,
the smoke we want.
yeah, similarly a kind of wispy smoke coming from the hills that hide Amberglade. But nothing that seems particularly troubling.
Okay.
I was going to ask, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, all right, so any landmark or collectibles we can grab on the way back since we've unlocked this area?
Yeah.
They'll
Or the area limits?
they'll find a way to make fast travel possible.
Did you cut out for you too, or is that just me?
No,
Just
I heard
put
him.
a signpost.
Yeah. A wagon stop. I don't know.
Shit, you cut out so hard for me. I did not hear any of that.
I
Repeat it all.
think that's your Wi-Fi. Sorry, man.
That's okay. Them's the breaks.
Yeah, there will be fast travel to here at some point. We'll get that settled, but there's a lot of other things to get settled first.
You're saying it's not Dragon Dogma? I haven't seen Controversy. I have no idea.
Yeah, for a mere $5, you'll be able to fast travel here. Just pay me money.
Not a lot.
Nara, as you do fly up, I'm assuming you're trying to find a path that sort of intersects with him. But eventually he would notice that you're flying up as well, and he would sort of fly down and around you a little bit. He can't really hover, so to speak, so he just sort of like swooshes by as you feel the wind pick up from his, like the sheer momentum of his form. You feel your hair just kind of like blow past your face for a moment. as he flies past you. And he looks like he makes like a second pass as he does kind of like a barrel roll around you.
She will also be trying to like counteract whatever he's doing just for fun.
Alrighty.
Because she's also pretty tipsy up there now.
You are, so give me an acrobatics check.
Cool. Watch this go wonderfully. Ooh, it's a 12. Thank goodness.
You think you're doing great.
Awesome. She's having a great time.
Yeah.
So.
To those of you on the ground, if you like look up and see like Garrick and Nara flying around, Nara, you believe that you're doing this like almost ballet like choreographed sky dance, when in reality you're just kind of serpentining left and right and every now and again hanging upside down on the stick.
Woo! That's really it.
Garrick would eventually start to like, on probably like the third or fourth pass, he would start to make his way circling back down towards the volcano.
If Nara sees that, she's just gonna free fall it down.
Just kind of like nosedive on the pixie stick.
Just because she's probably being a butthole, she'd make it look like she's just like falling towards the earth, just to see what Garrick does.
Give me a performance check.
Okay, great. It's a 14.
He either doesn't know that you're faking this or isn't willing to risk that you might be performing this. So as you fly, you like see him kind of like in this nosedive. He notices you. You kind of like start flailing. And he kind of takes this angle where he gently sets himself beneath you, and you feel your back touch against what feels to be sort of like a warm slate of metal.
Huh.
that sort of
Okay.
gently cradles you as it matches your momentum, and then begins to like slow down your descent as he lands kind of back near the cave mouth of the volcano. He shifts his weight and kind of lets his wing become this slide for you as you slowly fall down to the foot of Asmo, basically.
I always wanted to ride a dragon. That was fun.
It's lucky you found the one dragon that would be okay with it. Minutes after
I
they came into
know.
existence. In minutes after they came into existence, you're like, I'm gonna ride that. And you did. You rode my best friend. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's whatever.
Pause.
She just stares at him, sparkly eyes, giant smile.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Do you want me to turn you into a dragon?
No.
We can
no,
do
I
that
do
later.
not. That is. Yeah, give him the old home improvement sound effect.
I don't do requests.
That's
What?
true, Denier.
I'll figure it out.
The crowd, like, noticing that, very easily noticing that the huge platinum dragon just once again landed at the lip of the cave, would once again kind of like quiet down in reverence. As you now see that Garrick, kind of at a loss for words, just looks around.
Make merry tonight. Tomorrow, the real work begins.
And he goes back and climbs into his lair in the volcano.
You know, Wolfgang, if you don't want to owe Hackless a shit ton of money, we're going to have to get that scroll back from him.
You're probably right. We should probably cash in some favors.
Come on.
Yorick would say as he kind of like nudges his head towards the inner chamber.
I'm sure he's feeling quite generous right now anyway. At the very least, much more generous than he's felt in the last 5 years.
That's for true.
And Yorick will lead you guys back into the chamber of Garrick Brightscale. And here's where we'll take a quick break. As you step back into the chamber of Garrick Brightscale, he now seems a bit more at ease in the body that he is residing in now.
Still a lot to get used to. Both
I'd
the
imagine so.
form and the leadership.
He actually glances over at you, Wolfgang.
Any tips?
I know the feeling. Well, I try to prioritize my people's safety and happiness above all else. But I try not to let any of my decisions compromise who I am at the end of the day.
I suppose that's a very poignant lesson given what I've been through.
Suppose so.
I'll reflect on that.
Without your people, you don't have anything.
You see him kind of nod contemplatively.
Well, just as you can look to me to protect these lands where I'm needed, I hope you wouldn't be upset if I came to you from time to time.
You're a friend, Garrick. Of course I wouldn't be upset.
A warm smile crests across his face as he takes in the sight of all of you.
I owe you a great deal for everything that you did for me, and for everything that I've done to this land.
You see that a moment of realization kind of strikes him as he's currently sitting on a large pile of treasure. He starts to kind of like dig and sniff through it. I want each of you to roll me a d20.
Oh, okay. Just okay. 16.
16,
11.
11,
2.
2. Bear in mind, there are no bad rolls. This is just a table.
Yeah.
Well, is this just a random roll, R20 roll?
Yep, just a 1d20.
9.
9. All right, let's see. From his hoard, he pulls out what appears to be a kind of a golden chain necklace with what appears to be a ruby-like heart at the end of it, like kind of dangling from the chain, as well as, let's see, 11. Oh, dear Lord. Another golden chain. This one with what appear to be, That's funny. 7 orange orbs dangling from it.
Oh.
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 7 orange orbs.
Yep.
Eh?
Yeah,
I know what that is.
I rolled for it. It just happened to come up as 7. And sorry.
That's funny on a few different levels.
It really is. 2 and 9.
Very apropos.
Isn't it though? A band, like it looks like kind of like a silken headband imbued with what looked to be elven kind of like script etched, like embroidered around it. It shimmers faintly of like silver and blue as it glistens in the moonlight. And
Ooh.
a pair of gauntlets that depict a angry-looking, screaming face at the forearm of the gauntlet.
Ooh. So these are 4 items?
4
essentially?
items, yes, which you can divvy up amongst yourself.
Let's hear about what these items are, please. These all sound really
Yeah.
impressive.
Sure thing, given as 2 of you have the ability to identify these things, and Garrick wouldn't exactly try to hide what they are. The red heart on a chain is what's known as a Purifying of health. It makes the wearer immune from any disease while wearing the pendant. If you're infected by a disease while wearing the pendant, the disease is suppressed while it is on. It does not cure disease if you put something on, but it will basically undo the effects of a disease while it is being worn. The necklace with the 7 orange orbs is a necklace of fireballs.
Ah!
Oh my
Uh,
god.
This necklace has 1d6, I rolled a 4, plus 3 beads hanging from it. You can use an action to detach a bead and throw it up to 60 feet away. It reaches the end of its trajectory. The bead detonates as a 3rd-level fireball spell with a DC of 15.
Wow.
You can hurl multiple beads or even the whole necklace as one action. If you do so, increase the level of fireball by 1 for each bead beyond the first.
Wow.
These beads will not regenerate, however. So that is the tricky bit of it. You will have to pick and choose. Let's see, what else did we have? We had the headband. This appears to be a headband of intellect.
Oh!
To the wearer, your intelligence score is increased to 19 while you wear this headband. It has no effect on your intelligence if it is higher than 19 without it.
Dang.
So it'll make somebody smart.
Okay.
And then the gauntlets. These are the gauntlets of ogre power. Your strength score is increased to 19 while you wear these gauntlets. They have no effect if your strength is beyond 19 without them.
Wait.
Hold on. Let me boot up my
They'll
character.
make your strength.
19.
Will Nara finally be buff Nara?
Oh shit.
No. Hold on. We gotta talk about these because all these are very strategic weapons.
I think
Now,
we got the combo, y'all.
Do we?
Wolfgang has the belt of giant strength, the gauntlets of ogre power, and Kinch's hammer might be the hammer of thunderbolts.
Oh.
now I'm gonna point out one of us is a fighter, and that fighter does not have a strength of 19. Now, granted, I'm a dex fighter, but let me tell you, you'd be amazed how many times I gotta do strength checks as a fighter.
You
That's
do
true.
like the Vorpal blade is a strength weapon, or not the Vorpal blade, but the your Void blade is a strength weapon. It's a long sword.
That's why it's
Yeah.
never done as much damage.
Yep.
As it could have.
Oh, it could have been way nastier the whole fucking time, but in the end, I was also using it for its stun effect because that is important for some enemies. So I would argue that, oh man, that intelligence thing is good too, but I don't need it. I have a -1 intelligence, okay? I have
Oh my
8 intelligence.
Could be
Imagine if
+4.
you were suddenly 19.
Asmo immediately becomes smart. Oh no.
These tiny little glasses. I disagree.
Oh wow.
You do whatever you think is intelligent. I will do my own thing. Loses the headband. Duh! Nara's pretty. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Oh my god, I go from Fraser to Sam Malone.
Oh, I just realized we didn't upgrade you from level 12 to 13 yet, Asmo. So
Nope.
you should be 13 right now, but
I did not get we haven't gone through the boost of what that actually does yet.
it gives you more hit points and it gives you
That's useful.
it gives you a second use of Indomitable, I believe.
That is nice to know. I think a second use of Indomitable and I get a massive health boost. And I think at level 13 I get to activate some abilities twice.
I
Or
think
extra time.
Indomitable.
Yes.
You get 1 point. You get 1 point proficiency. You get some bonus hit points, and you get a second use of Indomitable. That's all you get this level.
That's okay. Fighter 13 is not as good as other people's, but almost lost it here. All right, so oh my god, we can spend like an hour talking about this gear. So let's put a hold on those strength gauntlets real quick. Let's break down the freaking that health thing, the anti-disease thing. That's sweet too.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a utility item, but it does prevent the user from getting contracting a disease.
I mean, Nara's probably not gonna take the headband because she's already wearing the circlet. I don't think you could do both. As much as having a 19 for intelligence would be.
Okay, so here's a question: what's everyone's intelligence right now? I think it's the best way of summing it up. I know Daenerys is shockingly high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Daenerys would get no use out of the headband.
My intelligence is 12 currently.
Same.
How often do you use intelligence for your moves?
Well, none of my
I don't.
moves utilize intelligence, but
It's mostly skill checks with him.
Yeah, it'd be good for skill checks or saving throws.
It would. would
The
be.
thing is, does the headband of intellect require attunement? Is the real thing.
Let me look.
And does
at
it conflict with your giant strength belt?
No,
I
it
believe
would
the
not conflict with the belt.
I believe the belt of giant strength is attunement, though.
The headband does require attunement. Yes.
Yeah. So let me just check to see how many attunement slots I have left. I believe the belt of giant strength requires attunement. I believe crescendo also requires attunement.
You're also the only person on Earth that can wield it. So, well,
That we know of.
maybe not anymore.
That's right, Captain America can lift up Thor's hammer now, too.
I've got the belt of giant strength. I've got crescendo, and I've got one other thing I think that is attunement required. Do I have a ring of protection? Is that what is?
Maybe the psychic
Yes,
resistant chainmail?
I do have a ring of protection. I don't think the chainmail requires attunement. The
So,
Cape of the Mountebank
can-
doesn't require
it's-
attunement.
I don't play a lot of D&D that much, so what can we go over attunement? What does that actually mean?
It just means
So,
you need to
attunement-
you have to have it on for a specific amount of time in order for it to, like,
Work.
basically gel with you so that you can use it
That's-
properly.
So that's
So
so it can't be traded to somebody else once it's attuned.
It can be traded.
Well, you can.
but it just would take a while for it to adapt to the new owner.
yeah, you would need to break your attunement to it first, and then
See, okay.
the other person would need to attune to it. It's got
I mean,
that magical DRM.
I love I love loot days. This is fun. This is actually one of my favorite parts of the game. I'm like, all right, what are we gonna do a strategy here? This is
Everyone except artificers have 3 attunement slots.
Bear in mind,
I believe-
I don't typically play by that rule because I don't like keeping track of that stuff. So
yeah.
Well, in that case,
it's the
I mean,
same. It's
technically,
the
I only
same
have-
reason I don't keep track of your rations.
It's so one you could say that right now. Let me ask you a question. So the Void Blade that's not needed to be attuned. However, Chimera does. Correct.
Yes, Chimera is a legendary weapon,
Okay, so yeah, you can only wield 3 items like that.
and furthermore,
So-
Chimera is also in its own way, intelligent weapon that kind of deems who can use it.
Okay, okay. So it's almost like Wolfgang's gun is to him, but this one, because of how I earned it, got the weapon that way. That's why it's kind of like my main hand weapon in a lot
It
of
was
ways.
bequeathed to you from its previous owner and won in conquest. Won by
Yeah, sounds-
conquest.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how it was. So but then something say like Kabuto is not attuned. That's just a regular weapon.
Yeah.
Void Blade is also not attuned, correct?
Yep, just a regular magical blade.
I see. Okay.
we've got gauntlets of overpower, a headband of intellect, a periapt of health, and what else?
Necklace of fireballs.
Necklace of fireballs.
Right.
With 7 charges. Meaning that if you really wanted, you could cast a level 8 fireball by throwing the damn thing.
I need you to know that you essentially gave us a bandolier grenade.
Yep.
Whoever throws that bandolier grenade has to come up with the best one-liner.
I mean, I would love to throw it, but
Should we give Nara 8? Should we give Nara 7 grenades?
I mean, that sounds great to me.
But also,
I
I'm
feel
curious-
like that's really thematically there, you know?
It really is.
It feels right. And I'm gonna say that Nara would probably be very much a child about it as well. Just saying.
It's true. So I guess I feel weird because so for this is I think I have 2 options here within the headband because I mean, let's be honest here. I literally my modifier for my intelligence is -1. It's always been my fucking Achilles heel. So it would boost that to a level, but I have no abilities that really use it, so it would just be able to like really level up that weakness. However, Nara and Wolfgang could also use it in that regard. Now mine is low, just because mine is low does not mean I should have it. I would argue that honestly, because they're casters, there might be more need for them not to be locked down. This is where I'm getting like strategic. Now the
Whoopsies.
strength, the
Sorry, I didn't
strength
mean to poke
gauntlets
that.
are the strength gauntlets are also kind of the same way. I don't know if Denier would need them. Nara maybe could use them, and I know I certainly, as a warrior, have a couple weapons that would be much stronger utilizing it. And it would also look really badass on my character, but so would the headband.
My strength is 6 right now.
So your strength modifier is even worse than my intelligence modifier. But like, is there any abilities aside from regular checks that you would need it for?
Intelligence saving throws.
No, I mean like the strength gauntlets. I mean for
Denier is not going to strengthen anybody in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, so I think it comes down to God. I guess it comes down to which I want to decide, and then the other, like, because if I take the intelligence thing, then it would come down to the strength thing being handed off to Nara or Wolfgang.
I don't need it.
Yeah, but if I take shit.
Remember, if there's something in the group that is extra, we could potentially trade it to Hacklist for something else, or give it to one of our underlings.
That's true.
That is true. We could sell the Gauntlets of Ogre Power if none of us need it. And then use that money to buy something even cooler for ourselves.
I'm so trapped here. I'm burdened with options, and this feels fun. Cracking my knuckles here. Oh God, if I wear so what color is the bandana?
Kind of
Color
like
is
it's like a dark blue, but kind of has like a sort of holographic glimmer to it as it gets as you kind of like turn it. It has this kind of like silvery sheen to it.
Ooh.
Who do we know that could benefit from having a higher intelligence?
Me, but
Well, I mean,
in general or in the game?
in the game that we were working with.
Looks
Like
at the
anybody from
entire tower of wizards in our employ.
That's true.
I mean, if none of us are going to use that and we've got like a war coming, then wouldn't we like want someone who's in strategic, you know, in a position where they're helping with the strategies, like I don't know, someone in the Kylums, one of the wizards, something like that.
Yeah. I mean,
Same for the ogre power. I mean, if we're going to be sending scouts.
I'm
and
taking one of
whatnot.
those two. I'm taking one of those two. I just don't know which one I want to snag here.
Gotcha.
Because right now I'm
Here's
wondering
an
if
idea.
What?
Yeah.
Roll for initiative.
What? Oh.
I mean, you guys can decide amongst yourselves, but if you want to do like a draft system, who gets first say on what, that would be.
I mean, the only thing that Nara is going to want is that necklace of fireballs.
And no one's fighting for it, so I feel like that's going to her.
all right. Is there okay then? Let's try it this way. Who wants to make claim of the gauntlets of ogre strength, or gauntlets of ogre power?
I think I would.
It's either you or Wolfgang, I feel like.
I don't need it.
Yeah, Wolfgang has
Then
the
I-
giant strength belt.
I already have the belt of Hill Giant Strength. My strength is 21 right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's.
I
yeah.
remember, okay?
Denier,
I think I'd like to.
but unfortunately, like the headband does nothing for Denier. So
Yeah, that's why part of me is like, could I take both? But that's taking 2 of 4 items. I just feel too weird about that.
I mean,
I'll-
Denier, how you feel about it?
See, Denier, I see taking that necklace of like avoiding all the diseases and shit.
I was thinking about potentially the possibility of like taking the necklace and attempting to use dream magic to try to experiment and enchant it and make it stronger.
With the Parapt of Health?
Hmm?
Oh, I mean, that's fine with
There's-
me. Go for it.
There's an amulet that does the same thing as your headband and the gauntlets, but with Constitution.
Oh. So wait, it's okay. To me, it's sounding like Gauntlets of Ogre Power
Would go to Asmo.
go to Asmo. Parapt of Health goes to Denier. Necklace of Fireballs goes to Nara, and Headband of Intellect will figure that out? Question mark.
I mean, it sounds like it'd be going to Wolfgang.
Oh yeah, then that.
If this is
We
the
cool with that?
if this is the way it's shaking out.
Man, my stats are fucking crazy if I,
I
put
mean,
all
that's
these on.
good, right?
I could
like-
I could unattune to...
You're essentially the Jesus of this world. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus probably had nut stats too.
I could unattune to the Ring of Protection.
again,
and
I'm
then
not
I would
I'm not really
have-
playing by that rule. But if you want to handicap yourself like that, I
Oh,
don't mind.
right. Fucking... I just forgot. Sorry. The
good.
hard set rules in my brain are like, no, it's this way.
No worries. I drive rules lawyers crazy.
Well, then, yeah. I would have 21 strength, 16 dexterity, 10 constitution, 19 intelligence, 15 wisdom, and 20 charisma.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
It would be, yeah, that's pretty good.
Like literally glass
makes-
cannon
makes-
protagonist energy.
Makes for a good leader.
I would
The
probably be
10
making smarter
Constitution is
decisions.
making me laugh, though. The 10 Constitution is genuinely funny.
I mean, how many times has Wolfgang gone down over the course of this whole campaign?
I can tell you how many heart
I think-
attacks
I
he's
think-
given me when he's nearly gone down.
He's gotten the shit kicked out of him the most.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Wearing all white does make you a pretty big target.
I do it as an intimidation tactic.
Okay. Well, sounds like we're pretty well sorted out then, yeah?
Seems that way.
I guess
don't it?
I'm taking the headband of intellect, I suppose.
You are.
I know it doesn't make up for everything, but I hope it's a start.
Yeah. Asmo takes the gauntlets and takes off his old ones and puts them on.
They feel a bit big on you right now, but you feel as you kind of slide your hand in, either they begin to shrink a little or the meat in your hands begins to expand a little.
Oh, expanding meat, you say?
Yes.
Delightful.
So you mentioned, okay, you mentioned, so
Brett.
you described what they look like. Can you give it another rundown of how they look?
Tell you what, all I've described is that they have some angry-looking faces on the armband, like on the forearm of them. How do you want them to look? To fit with your motif, I imagine you kind of want them in a... what I'm imagining from this perspective, to fit your present look, they have kind of a dark metal about them, like something in like kind of a dark iron look.
It's gonna look a lot like Guts' Berserk armor.
Yeah, and the
like,
and the
band
faces,
braces and shit.
Yeah, and the faces themselves have a golden.
Are they on the
hue-
elbows, essentially?
The forearm leading up to the elbow.
Maybe something like
These-
this. I posted
yeah,
in
these-
Roll With Me chat.
These angry-looking faces
Oh, yeah.
on your armbands in this sort of golden hue that, from the right light, kind of matches the hue of the yellow of your accent scales.
Exactly. That okay. Fantastic then. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you very much, Bob. That's looking nice. And as for the faces, can it just be a snake skull?
I'll say they can be. I'll say that they could be. I mean, just based on the name, they would be ogre-ish.
Okay.
So
That's fine.
yeah.
That's fine by me. That already got the yellow and black look that I was going for.
But I'll say that they have like more of an Aztec motif to them, so they do look a little bit more serpentine.
Ooh, that's good. I like that. I like that. I'm liking that. Thank you very much. And that's what just like just like you just hear the clank, like, ooh, light. They feel heavy, but they're light.
Yeah, your body
Still
will
got
take
medium
your
armor.
body will still take a little bit of time to attune to them, but like more and more every time you kind of like grasp, like kind of clutch your fist inside the like the gauntlets themselves, you feel it fit just like a little bit better every time you kind of grasp your fist and get used to their heft. Right now they do feel like they're about like 5 to 10 pounds apiece, so they do feel a little heavy on your arms.
Fair enough.
But within a couple of days, they will feel like air, basically.
Damn, Garrick. You really know what to give a guy.
As I said, it's a start.
Asmo looks over at like Nara, just like with the bomb thing.
Also, all
She's
things
staring at each of the orbs, so excited.
I'm a little nervous about that, but
Yeah, you did. Yo, you've not met her yet. We're together. Astro says, like just wincing, looking at the grenades.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Sure, you don't want the fancy the other necklace instead, the one with it's a little less steam.
She doesn't
Yeah.
even look at you. She just waves her hand away like no.
Astro just kind of looks at De Niro and Wolfgang. You guys don't want that. You guys don't want to take those. Sure we want. I live with her.
Just come home, the house is on fire.
She puts it on. Too late. It's on.
It's like fiery Akuma beads now, and it's like that looks. I can just imagine how good that looks on your character.
Yeah, as you look into the
yeah.
beads, Nara, you can see that they do sort of like glisten with this like they almost have this kind of like dancing, swirling, fire-like pattern whirling within each bead.
Gonna be good.
Like a choreographed torrent of primal fire swirling inside the beautiful orange beads.
See De Niro just hypnotizing himself with his own necklace, looking back and forth.
He's keeping his eyes on Garrick at the moment.
Mm.
The necklace is wrapped up around one of his fists, and he's holding it behind his back.
all things considered, I can't possibly accept the gifts of gold and items that you brought with you. Though, if you wish to leave the food, my people would be grateful, I'm sure.
Keep the wine, too.
He looks down at the empty bottles.
What wine?
No problem.
Damn it.
All right, well, I think we're gonna have to start shipping wine here. No offense.
Well, you know what? It is illegal in Silver Rock, so maybe all the stuff we confiscate, we could, he wiggles his eyebrows.
Luckily, with all the gold and everything you acquired, you could, honestly, if you want to stay here. Asma looks around. It's not a bad place. I mean, heck, you could even build a really nice little city around it, truthfully. I could see living here. Asma says that with all of you knowing what actually happened.
There's
Could be
work
worse.
to be done, no doubt. And I should probably avoid those particular vices, but I may be able to work out something with those that reside to the west. They might be more amenable to the
I kid you
imbibing
not.
nature of your produce.
I kid you not, Garrick. You could literally go to the west and talk to the leader and say you're our friend, and you'd get in okay. As a matter of fact, Asmal just pulls out Chimera, which his gauntleted hand actually fits inside properly. It's like both these things are magical things, so it's like almost like adjusting to what he needs. I took this off the leader's family member.
And they're your friends.
They are, and trust me, she took something herself. Asmo just taps at his eye with the blade. You've missed a lot in 5 years.
You see a thought kind of flick across his mind for a moment as you point at that eye.
The most dangerous fight we've ever been in. Asmo looks at Daenerys and Wolfgang, like gesturing like, that was pretty bad, right? I mean, we fought her once before. We don't have time for this. Sorry, I'm reminiscing.
No, hold on.
What?
And slowly he just kind of like leans down towards you.
I want to try something.
Asmo's anime blushing.
He reaches out his large hand. A claw slowly extends towards your face.
Nara is watching.
A faint radiant shimmer kind of emanates from the tip of that claw. Despite the immense power coursing off of Garrick, you don't feel any fear, oddly enough, from this particular gesture. And as the claw reaches and gently touches kind of like the top left side of your head, you get depth perception back.
What?
As Garrick restores your eye.
What?
To those looking on at Asmo, the eye itself flickers with this radiant light for a moment, almost taking on the same bluish hue as Garrick's eyes, but then reverts to his snake-like yellow slitted eye. He kind of smiles to himself as he looks down at his finger and then looks over at your now restored eye.
Asmo is clearly in shock and overwhelmed in this moment. Just like, holds up his hand, looks at it back and forth. Asmo just turns to Nara, puts his hand on her shoulder and pushes her back and forward. Oh my god. Garrick!
Oh my god!
Asmo just gives Nara a giant kiss.
Wow.
Oh my god! And just gives Wolfgang a fucking and De Niro a hug at the same time, like shoulder.
All right.
Oh my god!
You feel as he hugs. Asmo, give me an athletics check real quick.
Oh boy.
I just want to see how well you control it.
I'm sorry, everybody. I really am. I hope I get a nat 20.
I hope you do too.
Thank you.
16?
That's not bad.
Yeah, with a 16, you feel at first like you go in for a hug and you squeeze a little bit. It feels a bit firmer than usual, especially to Daenerys, who like kind of gets the wind squeezed out of him a little bit. But you adjust really quickly.
Wait. Is that with my old stats?
Your old stats are still in effect as the item hasn't quite attuned to you yet. But you
Okay.
did feel kind of a surge of strength there.
Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. Garrick, you're gone for 5 years, and the first thing you do is you give me a new pair of gauntlets and you fix my eye? I should have left you a red dragon. Now I owe you, you son of a... That was like clearly like fake angry.
Trust
Almost
me.
Trust
me, after everything that's happened, I know I owe you much more than this. But consider this making up for lost time.
Glad we can both see a better future now.
Me too. I still have a lot to figure out, but for the first time, I feel hopeful.
Me too. And Asmo winks with his dead eye finally. The first time in a long time.
Well, I suppose it's been a long day.
I have but one final question for you, if you will, Garrick. This is a question that has been on my mind for the longest time, and I can finally ask it of you.
Well, I'll answer it if I can.
Denier leans forward, this super serious look on his face. Are you the shadow? I have to know.
The shadow?
The shadow of Dragon's Rest.
You mean the Wraith?
I know it's you.
You mean the Wraith?
Right, it's the Wraith in this timeline. He shakes his finger a couple times.
I think those days are well behind me. And if everything was left to proper instruction, that mantle has been passed on to the proper hands.
And he winks at you, Asmo.
Nara intercepts the wink.
Eats it.
Just dives in like
Just
a bullet.
Gets in front of Asmo's face.
I'll save you.
It's like when someone blows a kiss and someone just grabs it out of the air. I'll be saving that for later.
I think at this rate, that old gear wouldn't exactly fit me anymore anyway.
That's true. Fit your brother, though.
Yorick, who's just been kind of standing back in the shadows, taking in this whole thing.
He stood by you the entire time, and he's going to be modest about it, but I'm not going to be. He was here the entire time by your side, regardless of what you became.
Oh, I know.
Mm.
I may not be conscious of everything that's happened, but I know he's been there.
Yorick continues to stand in the shadows and just nods, and you can tell he's filled with a lot of emotions right now.
He and I have a lot of catching up to do, too. I suppose we should get started on that. If you'd like to rest for the evening, I'll make sure that you get home safely tomorrow. And in proper style.
Amen, brother. Amen. We're all freaking tired, though. We all just got done dreaming, yet we're exhausted. One of Denier's whiskers still smoking a little bit.
Just a little bit. Denier's a lot smaller than he used to be. Before this encounter.
Just no fuzz at all.
Oh no.
His
no
fluff has diminished.
All Denier has to do is sneeze and hold in the sneeze, and all his hair will pop out again.
No, what I mean is his body is partially eaten itself in the last fight.
Oh, what?
That's why he has a strength of 6 right now.
Oh. Does
Casting-
that grow back?
It can be restored eventually, but casting an experimental spell like Limited Wish comes at a cost.
True.
It does indeed.
He turned into a wee lad.
In the meanwhile, you still look famished and...
He kind of like rolls the magical tablecloth towards you.
This might be useful to you.
And he hands you back Hackless's dinner cloth of heroes' feasts.
Aww. That will come in handy later.
Very fucking valuable commodity.
But if you wouldn't mind, my brother and I have a lot to talk about, I'm sure. Including what
Of
we're
course.
doing about everything around here moving forward. We'll speak again in the morrow.
All right.
And as you all leave the chambers, the kindly smile of Garrick watches you as you stroll out. You see as his brother steps out of the shadows and they begin speaking to each other. You find your way back to your chambers. As you walk through the courtyard, all of the troops that you traveled here with are now getting along quite well with a few of the lizard folk. They're teaching them some of the tavern songs that flow through Silver Rock. The lizards are doing their best to keep up the tune. But they're having a good time. Some of them have already retired for the evening, but those that are still celebrating the events are celebrating hard and will not be happy about it in the morning, probably.
Almost feels like we're still dreaming.
Everything's felt like a dream the last couple of years in general, but I get what you mean.
That was cool.
Aside from conversing, is there anything that any of you would want to do before retiring for the evening?
Nope.
Probably. Might snoop on Bordiche a little.
Alrighty. Nara's gonna snoop. Denier, I imagine you want to get some food back in you.
Yeah. Food, rest, secure the stone. But most importantly, he's going to turn and look towards Wolfgang. Hey, color me curious. It's been 5 years since we've had our last real adventure. He gives a little bit of a smirk. Did you find it yet?
I've been pretty distracted. Find what exactly?
Wolfgang, look in your left jacket pocket.
He, raises an eyebrow and he pats his left jacket pocket.
You feel a lump.
Oh, God. Did you see a doctor?
Oh, God.
I will reach into my left jacket pocket and I will pull out whatever is inside.
You feel a smooth... I'm assuming this is the rock, Denier?
Yep.
Yeah, you feel a smooth stone. Ow, Sal, what the hell? Just ripped my headphone cords out. You feel a smooth stone on your fingers as you pull forth the blink rock that you haven't seen in quite some time.
Huh.
I slipped it in your pocket in the during the feast in the future, and you haven't found it this entire time.
Well, I
Wow.
wasn't really exactly looking for it, and he winds up and he yeets that sucker into the air.
Whoa!
Give me an athletics check, Wolfgang.
Let's see. Okay. Eight.
Since you're kind of climbing around the interior of a cave, heading towards the essentially the dormitory section, it cascade it clatters off of a few stalactites, just clack 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 clack, and it just clatters a little bit more as it slips further away, and then sure enough, after a few after the last clack kind of dwindles, you can still kind of hear its echoes. It appears back in your palm.
Huh. I thought I lost this in the smuggler's nexus.
You did.
Eh?
How did you get it?
I bought it off of a merchant over in, I believe. Oh, what was it? It wasn't Solitude. It was the new town, Sanctuary or something along those lines.
Yeah, the place that the Skinwalkers had made their home after the fact, when they had joined with a few of the humans that moved from the north.
Yeah, I bought it just before we met. We met that merchant that doesn't like me very much.
Shame
Speaking
cat
of-
echoes through your mind.
Speaking of,
Jack!
he
Jack!
shakes a finger. I need to find that kid and pay him a visit.
He would be a child.
not gonna do
He would
anything.
he would be a child now.
You're not going to do anything untoward.
Untoward? Whatever do you mean, Wolfgang?
Well, this kid ain't done nothing to you yet.
Asmo just imagines, this is his imagination, just imagines this like little kid in school, and just Daenerys just jumps him, just whoops his ass, just like,
Heard you've been talking shit in the future.
shame
Gonna give it to
you!
you.
I've had a few thoughts whenever it comes to that kid. I mean, what better revenge on a future self than to make him my prized disciple? The first disciple of Somnium Vagus.
Evil chuckles.
Well, Daenerys, I've never been totally savvy with this whole Somnium Vagus thing you got going on, but, well, I trust your judgment after all of this.
I'll be 100 with you. I just need it. He looks around. Is Nara still around by chance?
Nara went off to go snoop.
Yep.
Give me
Yeah.
you can give me a stealth check if you want to like just slip away from everybody.
18.
Anybody who wanted to try to keep track of her would give me a perception check.
Sure.
19.
Dang it.
So Wolfgang noticed, but probably just doesn't care.
He just went.
Asmo doesn't even bother rolling because he just assumes she's sleeping half the time.
Daenerys glances around, looks around, doesn't see Nara before he turns back to Wolfgang. So one of the reasons why I dropped my last name is so that people couldn't trace my name back to my home island.
Right.
And he glances again, not seeing Nora. Basically, I wanted to keep Solomon as far away from my fucking family as possible, so I changed my name. But my family's not around anymore, are they?
I mean, I wouldn't have the answer to that, Daenerys.
Have you ever tried to visit their dreams? Aside from your father?
Probably over the course of the time, but he's thinking that the other timeline's family, they're not there anymore.
Oh yeah, the one that you. Yeah, that is a completely different timeline now. Yeah.
It is. Solomon can't touch them. Solomon can't reach them anymore.
I mean,
I'm not wrong.
well, you are in the fact that if he really wanted to reach them, he could, but he just has no reason to go there.
Well, yeah.
You
This
know
timeline's Solomon.
you know that there are timelines where Solomon kind of won his rebellion.
Oh, most definitely. But Daenerys gives a bit of a nod. He gives Wolfgang a pat on the shoulder, and he turns and walks away.
With that, Nara, you're attempting to snoop on Bardish.
Yes.
Would you like to continue that 18 you rolled, or would you like to roll a new stealth check as you make your way to her chambers?
I like that 18.
Okay, then I will see if she notices you kind of like skulking around the entryway. You approach and you just kind of see her The room that they've given her is nice. It actually kind of like has a beaded veil in front of it, with volcanic rocks hanging from silken strings that kind of give her this a sense of a doorway that none of the other chambers have. You can't tell if this is something that was implemented by the lizards themselves or if this is something that she created. The design aesthetic does seem to have much more effort put into it, though. The room itself is well carved. The bed is seems to be actually stuffed with bird down as opposed to the
Draw.
yeah, the straw and leathers, like animal skins that you've been sleeping on or would be sleeping on tonight. Let's see. She doesn't seem to notice you as she's just kind of like sitting looking out of what appears to be like a skylight, kind of soaking in the moon glow, lost in reflection.
I'm trying to think of... Nora thinks hard. Do I have mind reading? Can I read minds? No, I can't read minds. Okay.
Funny enough, there was something that gave detect thoughts in this pool of treasure that you could have rolled, but
It's fine.
If
It's fine.
anyone could have had that, Nara having it would have been the funniest.
Oh my god. Yes. So much havoc.
You didn't even know about Lycat from God Saga. Lying.
I mean, technically, Nara already has something like that.
Kinda. She'll just watch her for a little bit. Maybe just insight, I suppose.
yeah, sure.
19.
With a 19 on your insight, you can tell that she's deep in thought about a lot of things. I mean, obviously you can't read exactly what she's thinking about, but she doesn't, like... She seems neither happy nor in distress. Just kind of like a, real pragmatic sort of contemplation that she's running through her head. There are so many factors right now that have just changed in her situation that it seems reasonable for her to be in this state.
Exactly. Also gonna do a scan of her room more thoroughly. Of, like, what is where? Does it look like she's hiding anything in there?
You can give me either a, let's see, what would this be? Investigation would be more up close, touchy-feely sort of. So I guess just kind of a general perception check, but that's probably not going to yield you great results. Like in terms of like you'd have to roll pretty high to see if there's like good hidey holes or something like that. But if you
Right.
want to discover kind of like the nature of the room, you can give me a nature check.
It's more about like just from looking. Are there things on her like desk? Is there like, you know, an obvious place that she might be hiding something or that kind of thing? So would that be more perception or?
It would be perception, but it'll be a harder skill threshold than it would be if you were in there doing an investigation check, if that makes sense.
I'm down for it.
Yeah.
29.
That's still really damn good. As you go,
You're like,
yeah.
not perception, damn it!
As you look around the room, you do see that this room is actually fairly well, quote unquote, furnished, as it looks like a lot of this stone has been carved into proper living spaces. There's a kind of like a slat that comes out of the wall that stretches along part of the wall that creates this sort of almost dressing table slash desk like area on which you see a few books, some trinkets from her, like some comfort trinkets that appear to come from her homeland. What looks to be like a mirror sort of hangs on the wall in front of a part of it, and there are a few stone benches at various marks along this wall that make for seating spaces. There is a space that on this wall that looks like it has been used for kind of personal dining. The area itself is a little bit worn. There's a chalice sitting there along with what appears to be a crystal decanter of some amber liquid.
Okay.
Beyond that, there is what appears to be a carved out, almost like armoire-like, closet-like space.
Okay.
With a number of shelves that seem to house a number of garments and various accessory knickknacks. But that's what you can see from here.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going to give her another roll as you've just been kind of sitting there snooping.
Yep.
She's still lost in thought. So doesn't notice you, or at least seemingly doesn't notice you.
So,
Now she notices you. With kind of a start. Oh. What are you... Can I help you?
you seemed like you were in pretty bad spot earlier, and you seem to be in a much better mood now, so I thought I'd just check in.
I don't know. I mean, the situation is obviously changed. I just don't know what it means yet.
How so?
Well, when I came here as an ambassador,
Diplomat.
what have you, I was under the impression that he would be fairly easy to manipulate given his egocentric, greed and wrath-focused nature. But it's different now.
How so?
She looks at you like, bitch, you crazy? Like, did you not see what I saw?
She stares wide-eyed at her.
Do you see what I see?
Well, instead of a angry, greedy red dragon that seemed quite content to act on its baser impulses, he now seems much more conscious and self-aware of his situation and seems to be of a much gentler nature.
And does that help or hurt your situation? You did say the word manipulate earlier.
I did. I'm not blind to what was expected of me. In all honesty, I don't know what this means for the world, but in a weird way, I am... Give me a persuasion check.
Gladly.
As she's still trying to kind of get a read of you.
29.
I don't know, I guess a part of me is thankful. I feel like
Thankful?
whatever happened, whatever you did to him, is better for everybody in the long run. Not the least of which
I would
being me.
agree.
But I don't know what it means for my people. I know that moving forward there's a chance of war. My people, we suffered for a very long time. We were burned at the stake. We were treated as inferior. We were tortured, attacked. We deserve to live too. And we took that by right of conquest from the old guard. But the power that the way that Denier described the power that we use to take it, the world fears that just as they feared us before we had it. And that fear will inevitably lead to some form of conflict. So yeah, I'm torn. The world will never accept us for what we are. And the world will never accept my masters for what they've become. It's an impassable situation.
There's kind of a funny thing about power. Needhogg was great and terrible, right?
So he claimed. Again and again. And again. And again.
Yeah, I picked up on that. How happy did everyone seem when Garrett gave them the choice? A true choice.
Do you think our people didn't have a choice to embrace Ramses? He
I
gave...
think many did, and many currently do.
Before the ceremony was interrupted, the ceremony that allows us to ascend, every single ceremony before that, those who are chosen to ascend are given the choice to ascend or to remain as they are. Ramses would never force that on us. He always accepted us for who we were, unlike everyone else. If the world and all of the people in it were as accepting and righteous as Wolfgang and the lot of you, maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. But they aren't. The vast majority of them fear us and hate us for it. And now that we've finally seized control, they're even more afraid. Because now we aren't the ones who can be hunted.
And you're positive everyone under this control wants to be there.
As I said, during the ceremony, we're all given the choice.
Hmm.
And from what I recall from my masters, there was an agreement struck that if immigration were allowed between the nations, those that did not wish to stay north would be able to travel south, and that those that feared persecution down here would be able to travel north, but that unfortunately never came to pass. We have trade, but no proper immigration channels.
Ceremonies only for those of magical ilk, like us.
We're the only ones that would be able to remain ourselves through the transformation process. Those who were given the gift of Arcanos. Those with the magic already in their blood. To anyone else, it, well, from what I understand, just turns them into a mindless beast.
And you're positive
About what?
that those who haven't been given the gift of Arcanos, those who are around that area, aren't being subjected to anything that they wouldn't want for themselves.
So long as they obey the law.
The law.
You have laws down here, yes?
Yeah, Ken shot him too.
And what do you do to those that break them?
Depends on the person.
And the crime, I imagine. And the same is true where I come from. I know that it's hard to understand if you haven't been through it. But what Ramses offers my people, it's the first sign of true freedom. To be able to be who we are, without fear of being persecuted or outright attacked. I was just the plaything to the old caste, to the old powers. She looks down at her hands. Because I was born this way. I was seen as nothing but an exotic toy for what I am. So when I was given the chance to finally liberate myself from those that tormented me, I did it. And I would do it again and again and again, and sometimes I wish I could again and again and again.
Your freedom was to be Needhog's diplomat?
That was an unexpected wrinkle. But it was one that a sacrifice I'd gladly make for the greater good of my people. They've treated me well
it's
here.
about perspective, then.
They've treated me well here. The one clad in armor even, she kind of gestures around, made this space more livable, more comfortable for me.
Thing about it just doesn't sit right with me is all.
I just don't want my people to suffer anymore. I don't want war either.
I don't think any of us want war. But if the plan is subjugation, is that not asking for war?
She looks at you with curiosity. You think that Ramsay's goal is to subjugate everyone?
Necessarily. Not Ramses per se. But wasn't that part of why you were gonna be Needhog's diplomat?
The reason I came here, or at least what I understand, is I was to help make sure that a volatile piece of the world would be a little less volatile.
How exactly?
To make sure that if its wrath were kindled, that it wouldn't be directed towards my people.
And that's all.
There were other aspects, of course, but those were to come in time, from what I understood.
Like?
Helping to generate a new race into being. Again, a sacrifice I'm loath to make, but one I would gladly make for my people.
Sounds like making an army, right?
Perhaps.
And
But
to
as long as
someone on
it's-
the outside, it would seem like your bosses, whatever, are cool with selling you off to be the girlfriend of a tiny tyrant.
If you think that thought hadn't crossed my mind already, it has. And I've drank my way through it, and I've questioned it over and over, but as I said, if it is for my people, it was a sacrifice I was willing to make. Others have sacrificed more for much less. But that's all changed now.
Right. No, there's a funny thing about choices, too. People in power, all of that stuff. Things can feel like the right choice in the moment. I used to work for someone who was very powerful. Those choices felt right then. Over time, things changed. And based on everything you're saying, your opinion, your perspective, I hope that is who they are. Because on the outside, your situation, alone, there's a lot more questions coming up. Because freedom should feel like what you just saw tonight. Garrick flying through the sky, doing barrel rolls, having fun. Not drinking your way through sitting next to a horrible red dragon.
She glances back out the skylight for a moment, pondering your words. I still don't know if what happened here today will be good for my people or not, but at least from me, thank you.
Sure thing. Who knows? Maybe you guys will fall in love anyway.
She actually kind of like it gives out like a little of a bit of a guffaw at that, mostly due to the out of nowhere nature of the proposition after that, like in terms of juxtaposition of the conversation you just had. And then she looks back up out at the night sky. He does seem nice.
So I pair you with Yorick.
She looks back at you. Thank you.
Sure thing.
I should get some sleep. I may not be drunk anymore, but I fear that what I did drink will still hit me on the morrow.
Yeah, and I got roasted and toasted 2 different ways tonight, so I should probably sleep off some of it.
Very well. Good night.
Night.
And as you retire to your chambers for the evening, a calm breeze swirling around the volcano, and a sense of ease that hasn't crossed any of your minds in quite a long while begins to take root. Here is where we will end tonight's session.